Welcome to my world here on YouTube. If you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, like that you're notified whenever I go live or I upload. But did we find the two men that took Dulce? Did we find them, ladies and gentlemen? Hit that like button as you coming in. Sorry that it took me a minute to get on, but I had to go grab me a drink. Didn't want my throat dry. Bringing this information to you. But yeah, did we find the two men that took Dulce? Check it out. Check it out. Y'all tell me, are these the two men that took Dulce, ladies and gentlemen? Help me out here. I don't know, but they awfully look like they resemble each other. I did my best on putting it together here, try to get it as big as I could. That's the best that I could do without having it all distorted. But y'all tell me, let me know in the comment section. I'm gonna call in my co-host, and she's gonna break some things down for the family here today. Y'all bear with me. But did we find the two that took Dulce? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Miss Brenda Trinidad, my co-host and wonderful wife. She's gonna break everything down. Today she's gonna just take over. But did we find the two? Mm-hmm. Right. The Mexican dude looks real familiar. Alleged. Right. I'm just public information, going through it, trying to figure this thing out. And they just I mean, to me, both of them dudes look like they could fit the people in the New Jersey State Police image there. Right. Oh no, you can't do that. We can't do that. I mean, it's public information. It's out there. Hmm. They they can't hear. Hmm. Let me see. if you, if you can hear me and see my screen, press one. Hello, hello. Can y'all hear me out there? Press one if you can hear me. Uh,
She can.
can you hear
Hey,
better
Kelly,
now?
how are you?
Can you hear better now? Say something.
Yes. Well, okay.
Anyway,
Kelly is actually Kelly is uh little Billy's cousin. Kelly McLaughlin. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. Okay, they can hear us.
okay. Awesome. Okay, continue on.
Yeah, Carrie, the one in the left mugshot. No, we're saying that he looks similar to the gentleman in the store. And I was like, does anybody recall when they actually stated that he was an employee of the store? Do you remember that, Jackie? Well, back to what I was saying. Kelly is little Billy's cousin, the little boy that went missing about 55 years ago in Violet, New Jersey. She's also joining us too, shedding some answers into her cousin's disappearance as well. Okay, so see, Jackie said, yeah, everybody recalls that he worked there. We didn't get a name, but he can match the gentleman that we have up, the Jose Lopez.
This guy right here, him right there.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it's just odd. Okay. You don't remember, okay? And it's just odd that I don't know why they took. Well, there's a reason why they took the video down when they were actually entering into the store, um, because you can instantly see that as soon as they walked, he was eyeing. There's like about four people going into the store, and none of those four people, but only one was his interest when he was looking. And this is just us from what we're seeing. Even outside, even in the outside video, while he was out there smoking a cigarette. Yeah, yeah, everybody was cleared in the store. So you did hear about it too, Kelly. Yeah, so everybody that worked in the store was cleared. But anyway, he was eyeing her down from the moment that she hopped over those little parking humps, like I keep saying. And yeah, and he was outside staring at her, correct, and he was smoking a cigarette. He had his leg hiked up against the wall of the store right next to the ice machine, and he was there. It's like she came in the same way they came in. That's the same way they was walking. Dulce was on the sidewalk first, and he was just staring at her. He stared at her the whole entire time she actually walked into the store.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, something did happen between, and then that's what I'm saying too. And when I say it, okay, kids talk. So if he was already staring at her, just imagine if he already heard they was going to the store. Because all it takes is for somebody to say something, and then the way he was eyeing her down would assume maybe he did know that they was going to the park and sent somebody to go meet her over there at the park, because I'm not sure how fast he would have been behind them getting to the park. But if a few more people were involved, hey, now is the time, she's going to the park. And if they knew how irresponsible she was, always staying in the car. Let's just say that this Norma always stood not too close to her children, but, not too far. So if you keep on going to this park all the time, people are going to be picking up on that type of behavior, and they're going to notice that that's your pattern with your children. Now, and then that's a real big, easy strike. I mean, your child can disappear just because somebody's already monitoring how you are. But anyway, let's just say that he called somebody and told them, hey, she's going over there to the park. Yeah, he was. He was eyeing her.
If you notice there on the video where I have it paused there, he's like staring her down. Like he's like fixtured dead on her. Zoned out, dead on her.
Yeah, he was staring her down. And it could have been, I don't know, maybe he had a granddaughter and he seen that maybe Dulce resembled his granddaughter, but it was just eerie from the straight beginning. The moment that she hopped over that little hump, that she came into the camera's view, you can instantly see that he locked eyes with her. She was spinning, she was having fun. And as she was going into the door, he was still steady looking at her. He waited for Noema to pass through the door, and then he plucked a cigarette, and he came inside. No. What, this video right here? That if it was, yeah, because it was recorded over from a phone, actually. Like a phone was recording the video. It wasn't even like the actual video transferred over to a file, and then that's how we received it. Everybody's seeing a video that was recorded off of a cell phone or something. You can actually hear the lady or something say, when Dulce picks up her little brother, you can actually hear somebody say God, and she takes like a deep breath. Maybe, she just noticed at that moment that little girl, meant something to somebody. But anyway, yeah, it could have happened that fast. He could have called somebody. We don't know anything after that. All we know is that the video was taken off, and we just have her coming inside the store, and you see how she's picking him up and just walking him around. She knows exactly what her mom describes in some of these videos and these interviews that she be posting out there. She says that her daughter is not going to do that. You can clearly see how, her brother runs off a little bit and she goes back and she gets him. there was only maybe one possible reason that would have made her leave him there to go to the back. Why would she have left him there? And even if it wasn't somebody that she knew, what tactic did this stranger use to lure her into the vehicle? I mean, a dog is pretty obvious. The little boy was found with the ice cream thrown, on the ground. I always thought, when I heard that, I always thought of how somebody can just come up to a kid, and then kind of like say hi and then, playfully knock the ice cream down, and then tell her, hey, I'm going to replace the ice cream, or she ran after him to tell him that wasn't nice because they just got these ice creams. You don't think that a kid is going to be mad that ice cream is on the floor, on the ground? Yeah, they're going to be mad. He's going to be crying, and if she was so defending him and overprotective of him like how she is in the store, I'm pretty sure she must have ran behind this gentleman and said, hey, that's not nice, or something like that, that had lured her to get behind those buildings enough for her to get kidnapped. Yeah, and she did. And when she walked into the store, she was on her phone. She was distracted. That's what I'm saying. She was.
And he did put something down on the counter when he walked in. Somebody had said that earlier, that it looked like he had put something down on the counter when he walked in.
Yeah, he did. He did put something down on the counter. And a bag. I think it was like a lunch bag or something like that. That's why he was ruled out. Well, somebody stated that he worked there. And she was on her cell phone. She looked like maybe she was having an argument or something with her man, because she clearly looked distracted. The kids were super excited of going to the park, but she didn't seem super excited of herself that day. Maybe she had a bad day. Maybe she got into an argument with her man, and then that's why, a lunch cooler. Maybe that's why she looked the way that she did and she was distracted. Because you know what? Everybody's going to do it the same. When we're mad, when we're angry, we're going to be on our cell phones, and especially if it's with your boyfriend or your husband or something like that, you're going to be on that cell phone until you tell him everything that you have to tell him. And then especially if you're pregnant, your hormones race even more. So you have a whole lot more to say when you're pregnant. And she seemed real irritable that day. Maybe that's why she sat in the car. And she didn't feel like going out there, but it was already a promise that she made. Because we do that. I do that. I say, okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to take you to the park. And then I can wake up not feeling good, but I'm not going to participate as much because I'm not feeling well. But the kids, a promise is a promise, so you still have to keep up with your promise and take your kids, to wherever you told them that you was going to take them. Yeah, and I do think that, because that's all we have, is that we have this one video for 11 months of her going inside of a store, picking out an ice cream, and then that's it.
Crazy. But I know that looks like that gentleman does look like they both resemble each other a lot.
Actually, the gentleman in the yellow shirt at the store, I think, has the same yellow shirt kind of in the mugshot of the New Jersey State Police website.
Right, look like it's just a regular white tee, and it just looks dark like that because of the image. But then again, I could be wrong. All right, what else do you want me to put up? You sent me a whole lot of information. You had me information overloaded.
Yes, and well, let me go back on this message, and I'll tell you. Well, this is another thing, too, okay? Yeah, Manny cried for a reason. I mean, he could have been crying for two reasons.
Real quick, there's 13 people or 12 people watching. I have 1 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down. Let's show this one person that's hating and you know what I'm saying, hitting me with the thumbs down. Let's show him that we appreciate Big Mo by hitting that thumbs up. I should have 12 or 11 thumbs up and 1 thumbs down. Holla at your boy. Continue.
All right. Now, let me say how you remember before, because I'm going to put this out there because I just found something out today that was like, well, I didn't find it out. Obviously, I do so much, and I'm always collecting something that I'm not remembering, you know, what I have and what I don't have unless I'm looking for something else. But anyway, I ran into a message. I ran into a screenshot that I had of a message of someone reaching out to little Billy's sister. Again, not the other person. Somebody else was reaching out to Jill, feeling overly concerned of of Billy's disappearance. And then this is what I'm talking about. Like, why would you guys have waited until a video launched out of connections to want to reach out to this family that you have not reached out to before? You could have done so many things before this video or before any acknowledgement of Billy Joe was missing. Like, Billy Jones, nobody really knew about him until you're actually searching for other missing children throughout, and then that's when you come across his disappearance. And if you remember it so quite well, and you were so enthusiastic then, why now and had waited such gaps? Because you know what, if you wanted to search for him, you would have done it when it first happened, and throughout that, you wouldn't wait until a big 53-year gap, so then you can feel overly concerned with his family, and just contacting these people. Go ahead, Kelly. Ask the question. But yeah, to even know that, it's crazy. You guys come up real weird during the Dulce case, and then you come up more weirder when you're reaching out to contact these people that you already knew that little Billy was missing.
Excuse me real quick. Now you're talking about one of these spirit whisperers, aka psychics or aka mediums.
That was the first one. I'm talking about what do you call that? The little biker, little scooter. I don't even know. I don't want to say the name. I'm gonna inbox it to you. I don't want to say the name, and I'll send you that screenshot in a few minutes.
All right.
I send the name to your inbox.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's another thing that Kelly was talking about not too long ago too, when she had contacted us to see if we wanted to talk about little Billy. And no report did it say that a shoe was found in the field behind his house either. There was a shoe found, one shoe found, just like Mark Heimblatt from Cape May. He disappeared and they left one shoe behind.
Yeah, that's strange. The one shoe thing, the shoe
Yep.
thing.
And then there was bodies of water behind both of these two missing cases, behind Billy and Mark. There was a body of water. There was a nearby park, and one shoe was left behind, but it wasn't stated.
Now, did you see that interview that was done with Marcy?
Yeah.
You did see that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I go back to telling you that was an awfully close shoe. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm not sure if we're on the same page. I'm talking about an interview that was done with Marcy after they did the search behind the high school. Another YouTuber had interviewed her, and
Yeah. The
There was
passion.
there was several other people on it as well, and they were
Yes.
hitting over questions. Yeah, I just seeing that today.
Yeah, and that's crazy because you know what? I continuously. How do you not know you're local? If you're so in tune with finding Dulce, you would know that this spirit whisperer that is local to you has been talking about this case since what? Since she first went missing, and how he's, how they're amongst the group, and you would know. But every time you mentioned it, it's like, no, I don't know. How you not know this person? But you know Marcy, you know Brian Land, you've done videos on other people, but you never ask like who he is, send me information. That's because you already know him. And like the day of the visual, actually, you know what? That's how we became the evil people from the South. You remember that?
Hmm.
You remember that when they was gonna have the visual, when they having the visual over there, and somebody was scared to go over there because the evil people from the South was coming.
Yeah, alleged.
Alleged.
We
Yeah.
yeah we would. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
We're just guessing.
Well, that person knew that person, but it's crazy how they don't know each other, but they're so close. They're in it for the same thing, but 10 months in and you still don't run across nothing. You know?
Hmm. This whole case is weird, and
Yeah, and you've seen it, right? Didn't it look really good? Didn't it look awfully close to her shoe? And they both said no.
yeah, the mother and the grandmother said no.
It's crazy because they had the same front design, the same strap that's in the front. Yeah, and you were told in the visual that you had an evil spirit next to you. It's crazy because this is how, they talk about that we're gonna stay here and we're gonna be delaying the case because we're sitting here bashing the Noema and all of this stuff, but literally behind the scenes of somebody else, this person has delayed its time too because you know what? When you wanted to go out there and search for Dulce, this that individual used to come up and be like, oh, the spirits, the devils, the this, the that is gonna come get you, and then sending you pictures of look behind you. You don't see? No, I don't see nothing. And you know what? And that also too halted people from wanting to come to the searches, from wanting to speak about her because all this person spoke about was nothing but negativity and like satanic stuff that are pushing half the crowd of not wanting to come out and participate in looking for her because honestly, if they weren't saying that, guess what? People would be there, but like 60% of the people, I have the picture of it too. 60% of the people wanted to join, but you know what? They were scared. They were scared because they even thought that they was going to come in contact with this person. Yeah, and then who wants to do that? Like the first day when it came out, I keep going back again into why I was blocked from half the group, and it's crazy how everybody must be linked to somebody. Eh, Sooner or later, all of this is going to be put together, and for some reason, they're all going to be kind of maybe linked to the whole thing somewhere or another.
I just don't understand how a
Yeah,
human being just poofs and is gone just like that.
and some of them are found. That's the thing that some kids and people, when they're missing, they're found. The ones that are not found are the most questionable because that means that they didn't just go run off to go do a whole nother life unless they experience, a big crime and they're, you know, they go and they get a whole name change and all of that stuff. But I'm pretty sure, you know, they don't just, especially a 5-year-old, they don't. She didn't get. What did she get mad at? She didn't just get up and walk away. And I think that it was very important since the time that she went missing until the time that, things started moving along, that it was important to have looked even harder in between that time. I still feel that a lot more action should have been taken the moment somebody came to the scene and had taken over and said, okay, so you know how many people probably left that park while they're waiting for other police officers, or it's just a lot was wrong, and we just have to come together with whatever we have and try to see if we can come up with something. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a psychic. A lot of, and you know what? And yeah, and a lot of it because of the outside psychics, yeah, that's fine. But a lot of it has to do with this so-called psychic that was local, también, that was sitting there and delaying time too, because he also had, like I said, he had like 60% of the people believing that he can actually go in there and rescue her. And then that was a whole other thing, that he was so misleading. You wanted somebody to come and help you find her. You knew exactly where she was, but yet again, when somebody reached out to you, you were like, no, making up a whole other excuse. But then you're the one that deemed her dead. You even stated a date. These other psychics didn't say this happened on February 13, 1969. You said it happened on September 18th, 2 days after she went missing. And that was concerning, because how do you even get a date? I mean, no other psychic actually gave a date. And then, like, are you really a psychic? And then you led the people to say you want a canoe, a little John boat, okay? Even when I started being as knowledgeable as you, and when I'm in this case, I'm thinking, okay, like the kidnapper or the person possibly who could have done this. So I'm going to think like that person in order for me to gain information. So I felt like I was thinking like you. Okay, well, the boat, you keep saying that you can get to her to a boat. How many of us was misled for months thinking that he was going to help take her straight out of the Cohanga River? Yeah, the Wednesday, that she was killed on the Wednesday. Absolutely. Yeah, and then the cop, and the cop who took over Little Billy, like when Jill went to do the interview, now he bought the Palace of Depression. Yep, the same place where all the psychics keep saying that he's linked to. Absolutely, Kelly, I believe it. I even knew that when the sleuth lady was giving out certain pinpoints and it just didn't match with Dulce. It matched with more for Little Billy because it kept saying 55 and blue, yellow laces. And this is everything that Billy had, like a little blue sweater. And then I guess like his boot or something, they had like yellow shoelaces or something like that. So yeah, and then a lot of things led to the Palace, of Depression. And then when you Google into that case as well, you could see how it had already been checked out numerous times. But it's crazy. But with Dulce, it's the same thing too. It's not that the psychics got in the way. There was only one person that technically got in the way, because all that stuff, and then saying that the chief disregards what you're saying, and let me gather up all this information, and I'm going to take it to the chief, and then you make people wait on you and believe that you're actually doing something. And you know what was even more worse about that is that he was doing all of this for Dulce, but not one time introduced himself to them. Like, the family didn't even know that he was in the group doing all of this stuff for Dulce. And he was right there and didn't even introduce himself to them and say, hey, I'm in the group, I'm a psychic, I'm going to find your daughter, all the way until somebody actually interviewed him and was asking him questions.
Yeah. Did you, you had sent me a video of that said individual that you're talking about of him communicating with a cat. What was up
Yeah,
with that?
that never. He said it sounds like a feline, or how does it, like a feline cat? I might be saying it wrong. It's a cat. It starts with an S, right? I guess it's named for the outside. Anyway, I don't do stuff like that. I can't. You know what? When I heard it without the headphones, my stomach started hurting, and something told me don't listen to that with headphones on, because he always suggested for you to listen to it with headphones on. I don't do that. That's how. Nope, we're not playing those games. But that did not sound like a cat. It more like sounded like the cat said, "Yeah."
I'm gonna play it.
And then
I'm gonna play it. Hold on a second.
yeah, and then the video, yeah, with that psychic lady, and that psychic lady has a whole lot of things too. She keeps going back to saying also that the man has to be involved in some type of school.
All right, listen to this crazy stuff. Y'all tell me.
And this is public because it was already put out there millions of times.
How are you? Okay. You scared? Huh? You scared?
Disclaimer: for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Can you guys hear it?
Did they hear it?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting. But this took up a whole lot of time too and I felt like that was made for a whole distraction. And I only feel like he came in because her case was already psychic based, and I think that he was just a big old distraction and came in as a psychic. Okay, yes, I believe you heard it. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm glad I didn't hear it, because I don't really watch. I really don't do this kind of stuff. It's very shocking that I do listen to this now, because I don't even like watching scary movies. That's a no for me. Anything that spins its head around or anything like that, count me out. I don't do that kind of stuff. Did you hear what? Yeah. Yep. And he went around saying that was a cat. I was like, that's no cat. Like, it don't sound like it. But I mean, I don't know what it is. It can be, but I don't know.
I mean,
To me, it don't sound like a cat.
you could manipulate sounds. I mean, look at Kanye
So,
West, what he does with the sound of a human voice. I mean, you can manipulate sounds all types of ways.
they asked. It's kind of interesting because I don't think they had any of this type of, knowledge with doing stuff like this until. This is crazy. That makes my stomach hurt about that one video. But anyway, why are these people here? You will look for key players, right? If we're all looking for, they always say that the prosecutor stated that a person might miss work. That they might miss an appointment. They might tell you that, that they're sick, or their parent, or they need to go out of town, or, the things that, the heavy drinking. Sometimes people revisit the scene and you won't even know that the person did it. And then sometimes people will do something and, be infatuated and feel like, like a higher power, like, untouchable type of thing, and almost want to be praised and grab attention and the focus to them, so then they can explain about if they did abduct her, they would explain what happened to her as in like a spiritual reading, because that's what we're thinking, that person is a reader. So they would tell us a description of things that are happening, but they're really telling you what happened. You know, it's not that they're calling the higher gods and the gods are telling them. No, they're telling it to you so you could be a damn fool and think that it's actually a psychic-based reading. There's a lot. These people play with your minds a lot. I don't know. Honestly. I just know that it's been too long for just that little video, and it's like we can't talk about nothing. We don't know nothing. And it's just like, we have, yeah, and I tried. Actually, I think I sent you a clipping of a little boy who went missing in Cinnamonson, New Jersey. I might be saying that wrong. Cinnamonson, New Jersey, is that how you say it? And I think his name was Charles something, and he went missing in March. I sent him to you, and and supposedly in the sleuth they had some type of linkage. I didn't find yet to screenshot it and send it to you yet, so I don't want to talk about it if I don't have some type of information to show you why I said that. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of people missing, and like I said, the ones that go missing and then the ones that go cold and the ones that never appear are the ones that you should question, especially. Look at Mark. Mark's been missing for 27 years. 27 years. And 27 years. And he was seen with another kid. It was a girl. They even gave, a sketch of her. Nobody in Cape May seemed to recognize this girl. So, and there was a whole lot of things too, like the guy who's arrested for it, supposedly, and there was a video let out in 2016 about it, and she mentioned a year later, so he should have been out. If he was granted parole, then he should have been out in 2017. And I need to research him to see if he's still like alive or, and that's another thing too. The North, that's crazy. That's crazy. But then when you start talking about it, they get upset and they start wanting to, tell people to block you because you're taking out information from the groups. No, honey, people are talking among you into the groups. Like, if you was really following, crazy. Yeah, and he said that he told the chief all of this information, and the chief is not. Let me tell you something, Jackie. You remember when he sat in his truck that one time? I don't know, what was that? Was that the walk to the mayor's? Is that what was going on that day? He sat in his truck the whole time, and then he goes into the groups and says that nobody paid attention to him. That's why he didn't get out of his truck. No, who do we need to roll out the red carpet? No, we don't. If you went there to participate into whatever was going on that day, people are acknowledging you that you're sitting in the truck, but you come into the groups and you say that no, you didn't get out because nobody acknowledged you and said hi to you. No, introduce yourself, because you introduce yourself only to the groups, but when it comes up to a real life situation that you're there for the person that you're talking about in these groups, you're not even presenting yourself as a person who's talking about her. Do you remember that, Jackie? When he was sitting in the truck? I'm not sure. That black pickup truck.
Yeah, that black pickup truck
comes up a lot.
Yeah, I guess that person parks there all the time. But yeah, that person is there a lot.
Yeah, but there's the person be, unless you're talking about the black truck that's been seen recently throughout the park. Not where we went at that we filmed, but the actual park where she went missing. I actually have a few pictures of a black truck parked there. So I'm not sure if that's what she's talking about, that owner.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen again. Okay, so see, you do remember he was saying, and then we can't say for sure that our tire was slashed, but the gentleman in the actual tire store did mention that it was theft, you know, the tire. And also that day, that individual mentioned that he was in the park that day and seems to laugh at the situation that when we mentioned the tire being slashed, he seems to laugh. And it's not anything that we have to report because obviously his name must have came across too many times for somebody to say, you know, anything about why no information has been submitted about the said individual, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have gave his name into the tip line.
And me personally, I never mentioned his name, and he basically like
Knew.
knew
Mhm.
that I was referring to him.
Mhm. Yep.
And I mean, if the shoe fits,
He knew instantly because I even have messages where he was telling Jackie that he was gonna become, him and her were gonna become famous because of a YouTuber named Moises Beauchamp. When she sent me that, she said, "Who's Moses?" And I was like, "Moses." And she was like, "Yeah, Moses and Beauchamp." And I was like, "What?" Like,
and what's the only reason I started doing this?
because of me.
Thank you.
Mhm. Because you know what? I don't know why I'm so pressed in finding her. I really don't, because I'm not. I like to bake and do arts and crafts, and I'm really not some. Like I said, I don't like scary movies at all. I don't do that kind of stuff. And some of the things I come across and finding this little girl has it's scary. And I don't know why I feel like I can keep on going. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna find her, but I'm saying that somebody out there knows information, and I just feel like we should keep talking about her to keep her alive, so maybe somebody can be set up of holding such a big secret and say something.
Definitely.
My bad, I almost choked on a milk dud. Anyway,
But
but
yeah.
that's why I feel like the need. But listen, that video when we started making the connections and and certain things like that, my tactic was to see what else I can put out there that would give some type of off behavior of certain people. Because the the prosecutor said you gotta watch for behavior, right?
Right.
Behavior changes.
And
You know me.
what kind of what kind of behaviors uh from the outside looking in that you could see about the said individual that we were just speaking on? Like what did you notice from the outside looking in that was kind of strange with that person?
Oh, I told you a lot because when he
Share
walked
with the
in,
audience. You told me,
okay,
but you haven't told them.
what was that?
I said you told me, but you haven't told the audience.
What, that he could have done it?
No,
Because I
just
tell you a
just
lot.
just the like this the behaviors that from the outside looking in that you could see.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, he knows already because me and him actually got into a dispute on an actual Facebook post, and that's how Carrie ended up maybe blocking me. from the group because it's not like I went in there and I was, dramatic. No. When he came in, this is how he announced himself. He announced himself like somebody was gonna, like the greatest showman. Like he was gonna come in and it was like a show. Like I don't know, when I read his post, it's like I felt him in like a cape and he was gonna do like a show, like the greatest showman. So anyway, so he comes in and he's like, my name is blah 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 blah, and I'm spirit photographer or whatever. So if anything that you have, if any help that you need, and and helping Dulce, let me know. So here I am. I'm for it. I've been listening to all of these psychics. Here's a new one. I'm telling him, and he was like, I forgot what it was that he said. I actually have to look for that screenshot. But me and him, he called me negative, and he was like, I thought you was a reader like me. He thought we can relate. And I told him, I said, no, my grandmom was a reader, and she taught me how to, separate the gibberish from the real stuff. And then I was blocked because he stated that we were speaking negative about him, and then he was like, "Oh, you ladies, I thought you ladies was better than that." I mean, it's crazy. And then that's why I brought you in, because I was like, this man got all these women in here petrified. He got them all wrapped around his finger, and letting them believe that he knew where she was at. And I was like, well, then I'm going to bring in my husband. So I made my husband do a video. And when I talk about behavior, then that's the behavior I was looking for.
Yeah, but what didn't we find online that like right around a certain time he like retired from work and some more stuff? Didn't you come
Oh, yeah.
across some things like that?
That he used to work somewhere?
Right, didn't you come across something that where he had retired or something around a certain time? I don't quite remember.
You have to refresh my memory, because I don't want to say something that I got to make sure how I have to say it first.
Right.
So we'd have to maybe talk about that so I could word it properly. Well, he did attend schools. Like he was a groundskeeper. This man has just been all around concerning. I would be concerned knowing that he's given out a date of death. Yeah. Yeah. Look, he reached out to Jill, like to Billy's sister, and yeah, to the same coffee shop that he invited you out for coffee. And I told him no, I would meet you at a coffee shop when we find Dulce and there's something to celebrate, because he's not going to sit there and show me all this bull crap stuff and expect me to believe like half of these women are believing. I woke up one day, like when he came in, like I told you, when he came in, like the first 2 weeks of him being there, every day he spoke death and was talking about the demons. Do you hear this? Do you hear that? And everybody was like, oh, Lord mighty. That's how I felt, because everybody was like, oh, she's dead because he said it. Oh, let's mourn her because she said it. Did you tell them, Mom? Because he's stating that she's dead. And I'm like, what the hell? So then I was like, yo, I even hit up Jackie and said, hey, we have to speak life back into Dulce's name, because, like, what is all that negativity? It was like they was praising him because this man came up and said that he knows the date of death. He knows where she's at. Nobody wants to help. That there's no drones. There's no this. But let me tell you, he has no way of getting none of this, no drone, no nothing. But he has Connect that has both, that is in the media industry, like with photographic. I'm pretty sure he can find a friend that does a drone. And I'm pretty sure he could have bought a drone. Them drones ain't expensive. And you want to go over the Cohansey with it, you know, and it's just crazy.
It is crazy because, thinking about that situation, and then I'm looking at my topic, at my title, and we're looking at these two men that definitely look like they could be the two men in the video at the Sunoco. And then, they appear on the sex offenders website for the state troopers of New Jersey. And we wonder, like, why is there so much confusion behind this little girl's case?
I know it. That's what I'm saying. In some way, shape, or form, maybe it's just linked somewhere. Because just like the chief says, it's a big old puzzle. No, this is what Jennifer says. It's a big puzzle. And it's like we have to put the puzzle pieces together. But like I said, when you're searching for information for her, there's only two puzzles that you could build. You could build one on her family, to figure out maybe if it was something that her family did. So that's puzzle piece number one, because that's how it is. And then you have puzzle piece number two, because you have entertainers like this Spirit Whisperer and what's the other one? Hard Knocks. I don't even know. I don't know what to say about that. But anyway, you have these two said individuals that now everything is discreet. Like if you say something about them, they want to start talking to somebody else, to make sure that they block you or drama starts and it just makes them more weirder. Like I said, how do you not tell this family, anything? And this, in the beginning, this family is pleading for, any type of information. Does anybody know anything? And here you are, you got research, you actually got investigated. You was at the park. And just like the chief said, nobody's out, right? So that means that anybody that was under investigation from day one has not been cleared yet, because this child hasn't been found. So if you've been investigated, doesn't mean because, life moved on and nobody's found her, doesn't mean you're actually cleared yet from the equation.
Right.
So, and then that's another thing. Like, I don't understand why law enforcement didn't stop this visual from happening, knowing that she was already investigated. Or had at least told this family, hey, that, this. And it's important. It's important because when it was found out, when she found out that that's what was going on, that she was there at the park, all of this stuff, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was disrespectful. It was the most craziest thing that could have happened to somebody who lost their child.
Was that to have a visual?
Yeah, not to have a visual, but to know that somebody who was being investigated, allowing you to have a visual in there. You don't know what
Right.
being
Okay.
investigated about.
I see what you're saying now. I got you.
You don't know what that person was, and if you was investigated, this kidnapping happened at 4-something in the afternoon. Okay? Supposedly, she was investigated because she was there at 11:20.
Mm-hmm.
No. They said anybody that was there at the park from 3 to 6.
Right, and then to come find out that
it was because it was another and then she was there because they needed the video of something that happened a couple of days before that, about a shooting that nobody even knew about. And then she says, and then when the guy came out and said that, she says it's because he wanted her to do him sexual favors. Who says that?
Mm-hmm. Miss Kelly said that when Mr. Spirit Whisperer asked Jill to meet up with him. She wanted to send her husband, and Spirit Whisperer said no, that it had to be her.
That's what I'm saying. And just,
Has
and remember the other one wanted you to interview them too. I keep telling you, they're so lucky I don't trust these things, because let me tell you, we would have been interviewed them, because I would have 1,000,001 questions to like finally be in front of them and be like, what are you doing?
yeah, what gets me is how the lady had these pedophiles living in her house and allowed
Yeah.
that
You don't
event to take place there.
let me tell you, I would have, knowing me and how I fought and how I went and I fought that lady 5 times over there in reference to my son.
Yeah.
I would have went let me tell you, if I had been Norma and I would have found that out and she would have confirmed it, I'm thinking that's what I would have done. There's no doubt about it, because you know what? That means you know something.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to act concerned and want to do all of this stuff and basically, how are you going to act concerned and not show respect? That's decency.
So my question is, do we eliminate these 2 guys that are on the screen, or
No, they
or
could
what?
stay on. They could. There's something about that video we don't know, like I said, and we're just looking at characters, and I'm only finding out characters from the group. Now, the character seems to know who the owner of the store is too, because the other day he mentioned the name Turban, right?
Mm-hmm. You might want to
So,
explain what you was talking about, the house and the visual. I think Miss Kelly is lost on that.
Oh yeah. Somebody that was actually pinged at the park and was investigated through the FBI actually held a visual for Dulce at the house. Like, Jackie attended, the news attended, and everybody attended. And she never once communicated with the family and said, hey, I was one of the many that got investigated, on that day because I happened to be at the park. It's very important. I don't care if you was just driving by in your little scooter. It doesn't matter. But you holding a secret like that and not stating that shows your character, because that was like a big secret. You had the video, and if it wasn't that you didn't post it up there, nobody would have had known.
And furthermore, she didn't disclose that she had pedophiles living in her home.
No, and you're having a visual for a girl who possibly could have got kidnapped by one. It's important. It's important. You show, it's crazy. It's real crazy, and then it's just. Then you started, doing and even after that you were exposed, you continued on selling products under Dulce's name. You still ended up wanting people to send you donations to your house for Christmas for them. No, you held that big secret. You disrespected them. They don't want to talk to you. Let them be. Give them the space that they need. Stop talking about the child. You done already disrespected her. You disrespected her because that was a big old secret. And I think that I don't want to make a big thing about it, but had it been me in my situation and how I went and I asked everybody that knew her, you better tell me where they're at. Like, I fully investigated, and I know me. I know that it would have bothered me knowing that she didn't relay that information on to. It's important because that's what you're there for. You got investigated and you don't say nothing.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They didn't say nothing. And it's disrespectful.
that whole fundraising thing, to me, in my opinion, was done wrong. It should have been one central place where all fundraising was done from, and everything should have went for awareness on, to finding Dulce.
Absolutely. And then you know what? Like, um, school continued on, right? This little girl disappeared from a park, and school continued. Why isn't there like an assembly or something showing awareness to these other children about, a child that went attended school with them, that it's been 11 months, and do these kids ask, like, has anybody found Dulce? It just feels like there's no concern that she's found, and that's unsettling. It's unsettling because you would think that with all these functions that go on in that school and throughout the church, that one day you bring in children and you show them that there's a little girl that's missing. Show them awareness. I've seen it in other places where they would come and and I'm pretty sure that these kids are asking, like, where's Dulce at? Did anybody find her? You don't think that these kids are concerned? You think that they feel safe knowing that one of their classmates went away? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I personally think if something happened to her, as far as you know, death wise, something that tragic,
I hope not.
you gotta be able to find. You gotta be able to.
Closure.
You gotta find her. You know what I mean? You gotta find her. And if you don't find her, then that means that that she's alive and she's involved in higher this higher mystery.
And that's another thing. How do they know she's okay? If they even had the slightest clue of her, she's never okay. At 11 months, you being away from your family is never fine to say that you think that she's okay. No, a child is never okay when they're never home. Okay, she done missed her mom. Her mom expressed herself that how she's scared of the dark, and I know it because I still have my daughter who is scared of the dark. She's about to turn a whole nother year, and she will flick every light on before she gets to the bathroom. And to know that if and how my youngest is, imagine if that lady would have succeeded and took my son, and how I know him now, because I got to live, I've actually interrupted a possible kidnapping on my own with my own son, but to know him now, how he is and how old he is and how he loves sleeping with his oldest brother. Okay, he can have his own bed, and every time when you wake up in the morning, he's under his brother in the bed. I don't know how they do it, but it's because he has these nightmares sometimes at nighttime. So his brother seems to be the only one that takes care of him at nighttime. I could only imagine if he was kidnapped and then this is how he was growing into, like who would console him then? I would have been missing all of this stuff. He wouldn't be okay because he wasn't home. So she's not going to be okay until she's home.
Yep,
And
I agree.
And the only way that she's going to come home is if we keep, bringing up her name every once in a while. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully somebody is really not sleeping at night over this and wants to come clean
And
or
that's
something.
I agree with Miss Kelly. I believe that the city of Bridgeton is hiding something, keeping something from the public. I mean, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but I do agree.
That's what I'm saying. That when they say that they know she must be okay, and and even if we was to talk too much, that they might harm her. How you not know that they're already harming her? She just turned 6. When she disappeared, she was 5. If she was trafficked, she's not okay. Okay, she's not fine. She done already lost her entire little princess childhood that she had because she was obsessed with Frozen, So that means that she felt like a princess. That's probably why she had those little high heels on at the park, because my daughter was in that phase too. So was my stepdaughter. They were in their princess
Yep.
phase. And
That's
I remember arguing with you because you didn't allow them to put makeup on.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was used to tell them
Ladies
that
and
they have
gentlemen,
to express themselves.
I used to go through it because my little girl would want to wear the makeup and I mean I didn't mind the dressing up thing, but she got to the stage where she wanted to wear makeup and I was going crazy because I didn't like it. But I guess I had to learn to
Yeah, but look at them now. They don't like makeup. None of them like makeup now. It was just, that's what little girls do. They go through that little princess phase where they want to be like a princess, and she was in her princess phase. She didn't think she was going to be somebody's wife, that her whole life was going to be taken away because she broke that rule. She trusted that person on something. She trusted that person.
well, we gonna say that the devil is a liar and that nothing like that is happening to that little girl.
Well,
And
look, they said about little Billy, right? Look, they said in the little Billy article that he must have gotten taken by somebody who couldn't have a kid and wanted a kid. Okay, so Billy would have been about 60 right now, right? So you're telling me that if he was taken by somebody that wanted to bear a child but couldn't, you don't think that his DNA, with all this technology and all this ancestry that we have going on right now, where people are submitting DNA and you're starting to find your family line and all of that stuff, that his bloodline wouldn't ding somewhere?
right.
And Mark?
Yeah, I agree. That's where that's where it goes deeper. I mean, I ran into something yesterday about that little girl that disappeared from oh man, what country was that? But yeah, kind of find out that the Podestas might be involved and they may be reopening that case. I'll look it up and
Is that the little girl that they found her in the field or something like that?
No, they haven't
Or
found
they found something in the field?
they haven't found this little girl at all yet. Yeah, but I'll look it up again and I'll present
I seen
it.
something yesterday about that on my news feed. And then just like that lady, Robin, and Nay Thomas. I mean, with Nay too, it doesn't even state on there anything but that she left with an unknown male. There's absolutely no awareness about her either. Who was the unknown male, and why would she even suggest leaving with an unknown male to New York or to wherever they're saying that she possibly could have went to? Like, and a lot of the family is stating that no, she would not have left, with an unknown male. That she wasn't that kind. And just like Robin, you go to the store and you never come back. And these are all, the ones that are not found are the ones that are more concerning. And I think that for the family's respect, I think that some people should be having not consistent updates, but I don't think that people should be Googling to see if they found so-and-so. I mean, you can go onto these pages and you can see where people are asking, was this person found yet? And there's still no response. There's no response. Like, you don't want to...
Now, Miss Kelly is saying that the dad of the cop that bought the pallet of depression,
Yeah.
his dad was the original cop that was on Billy's case 55 years ago.
Yep.
Things that make you go,
Yeah, no, she was talking about it. We actually be inboxing.
See, that's where it makes you think that this thing is bigger than what it is. When, you know what I'm saying? That's when it gets my mind, skipping and hopping over into the rabbit hole of conspiracy.
Yeah.
It makes
And
you
then
think.
you get scared. you get scared of talking about it too because you
Right.
don't want to go out there one day and they snatch you up. Like I wish they would,
Well,
but
no, I,
you know,
me being the person, being me, who I am,
mhm,
that's not a rabbit hole that I would want to jump into. I wouldn't want that type of attention. You feel me?
yeah.
But we've been on here for over an hour now. I think that we could
But yeah, Kelly, I think it could be,
yeah, definitely,
it
definitely.
could be, because it's like I said, everything is awfully strange, and I
Yeah.
hope that somebody like really, 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 really maybe opens up some cases and what happened to those type of people that you can hire that are not in your area, like people cold case file experts that maybe you could find somebody that's pro bono and is willing to take up on little Billy's case and relook into
Well, me
actually.
personally, me personally, I think that very soon, uh, you're gonna start seeing a lot of things happening where a lot of these things is gonna be unveiled. You're gonna see it for what it really is, and I really believe that that's happening soon.
Well, we hope so.
But we've been on here for a little bit over an hour now, so we're gonna continue this conversation another time.
Mhm.
Thank you for being the co-host. Thanks the audience for coming through. There's 12 people watching right now. I only got
Yes.
6 likes. Can we get them likes all the way up to
She said we need to meet up with a whiteboard.
Oh yes, definitely. I got a couple whiteboards. I mean, we definitely could get it in.
All right, Kelly. Well, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. And hey, listen, 11 months in, whatever information you have right now, you need to start spreading out in front of you and really looking at it very well because a lot of us don't share the same information. Some people might have different information that can connect to missing puzzle pieces. So
Yeah, I mean,
gather up everything.
this is what it's all about, brainstorming and and seeing what we could come up with. Like everybody's saying, this is like a big old puzzle that needs to be put together. And all we could do is just keep the families that are missing their children, like Dulce's family and Miss Kelly's family, and keep them in our prayers.
Mhm.
Yep. All right.
Well,
Well, thank you, Brenda, for once again taking over the Moises Beauchamp YouTube channel. You
okay.
do it so well.
You know me.
So,
I like to talk and argue. I can do it.
yep, yep. So,
Okay.
alrighty then.
Okay.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe bell and the bell. And like that, you're notified whenever I go live and I upload and all that good stuff. And as you're leaving, hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the conversation tonight. And if you didn't enjoy the conversation, go ahead and feel free to hit the thumbs down. It doesn't bother me. With that said, one love, my good peoples. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.